I'd like to welcome you all to the North American Radio Guide. This is a new channel on YouTube that will talk about DXing, both AM, FM, shortwave, and sideband. I'd like to welcome you wherever you may be. Hopefully these videos will be of some help for people who are interested in the DX hobby throughout North America. I hope they'll be of help to Continental DXers by showing the higher powered stations and what wattage they broadcast on at night, their locations, and even some of their history. Many AM stations, believe it or not, my friends, are about to reach their 100th birthday. Plus, as a bonus, on most videos, we'll go back in time into the Wayback Playback machine so you can hear how some of these stations once sounded way back in their heyday. It's a must-have for any serious DX fan worldwide to the stations available in North America and their rich history that most have forgotten today. Make sure, my friends, hit that subscribe and bell icon. You'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. I'm a former US disc jockey that has DX'd since the early 70s, and I've got a lot of history to share on each frequency. But that's not all you'll hear on this channel. I have a small collection of radios that I purchased for certain noted specialties, such as some are real good on AM, some good on FM, some good on shortwave. We'll go over those radios and we'll use them to DX on frequency scans. We'll do our band scanning from those from a West Coast location, so you're not going to be hearing something from the Midwest or East, maybe a few new stations that you might not have heard before. We'll also check on single sideband, and we'll have a whole lot of fun hopefully in the meantime. On this channel, we'll also get into the history of radio on each AM frequency, as well as answer stories about why are there three-letter call signals? Why are there K signals? Why are there W signals? Why are there Ks in W land and Ws in K land? We'll go over all of that with you. Plus, we'll also talk about why there are stations that still retain those three-letter call signs. It's a journey that'll take a long time to travel. It'll also have much of my experience over the last 40 years of DXing, as well as working in radio itself. I can't promise you we won't make mistakes along the way, but I'll make sure to tell you those mistakes won't be intentional. It's brought me a lifetime of happiness, and for many younger DXers in the hobby, I hope it'll give you some help with identifying far-off stations at night, as well as a little bit of the history behind them. Most of all, I want to make sure you know that these videos will be short in length if at all possible, and they'll also be well prepared. There are years of research I've done involved in making all of these. Because many frequencies are regional frequencies, for the sake of time, I won't be going into stations of less than 3,000 watts of nighttime power. Trying to give everyone a list of all the 1,000 watt nighttime stations, say on 1450 AM, for example, could literally take over a half hour, and believe me, you'll be asleep by the first 10 minutes. But these videos will hopefully serve a purpose: to preserve and help younger people in the DX hobby, or newer people to DXing, about the rich history of AM radio in North America. All right, with that said, we'll talk about the very bottom of the AM dial, 530 kilohertz. Now, 530 kilohertz is a regional broadcast station frequency here in the United States, and you really don't find anything here except for a Morse code station. More on that in a second. We do have a Canadian that does broadcast at night, 250 watts of power. You can hear them in the very upper part of the Great Lakes region at night. It is CIAO, Brampton, Ontario, Canada, just outside of Toronto. They are right now using a multilingual format at this point. 530 kilohertz in the US actually is used exclusively for travelers' information radio stations. They're portable, and the FCC rules that they cannot be more than 10 watts of power. That's those little highway signs you see as you drive down the road, and they say, tune your radio to this frequency for information when the lights are flashing. That's where you hear all that stuff. So they're reserved for those stations only. 1710, way up on the AM X band, which means expanded band, that's also used for travelers' information frequency. So this channel show here will cover both 530 and 1710. Okay? There's one exception, though, in the United States to the traveler's information frequency, and that's located in Manchester, Tennessee. It's a Morse code beacon that continually sends the letters L, Y, and Q. It's used for aviation navigation purposes, so it helps to remind airplanes exactly where they're at. In Cuba, they have a broadcasting towards the United States. It's called Radio Encyclopedia. It's located from Havana, and it can be heard well into the southeastern United States at night. It mixes soft music, some tropical music, news, weather, and of course, commentary. So, there you go, 5:30 and 1710. Pretty easy, right? Well, we've started our journey up the dial now. Next coming up is 5:40 a.m. We'll also get into a lot of other stuff on DXing as we show different radios that I'm blessed to have and how they work when DXing other stations. Until then, I hope everyone is well and good, and I will say to all, goodbye, everybody.